Daniel Jebbison. Have you heard of him? If not, I'll tell you who he is. You might have seen him once. I think he made one appearance for Sheffield United in the Premier League before they got relegated. He's still on Sheffield United's books, but he plays for Burton Albion. He scored 6 goals in 7 games for them. He's a young player. He's an England youth international, although he was actually born in Canada. The reason I bring his name up, he's been heavily linked with West Ham, and he looks to be a very, very good prospect. I'm just putting together a load of transfer rumours for today's video, by the way. So they've taken them all from just various places, mostly one football app, but I've had a look at a lot of websites. So many transfer rumours are being linked with so many players at the moment. But Jebbison is right up there. I always believe it when I see that there's a really big player, a really tall player, and he certainly fits the bill. He's 18 years of age. He's got a touch of the Paolo One-Chop-itis, or something bloody knows. He's got a touch of the Paolo One-Chop-itis about him. A little bit clumsy, a little bit raw, but my word, there's an awful lot of natural talent there. He's fast, he's big, very, very big boy. And looks to be one of the most promising young forwards, certainly, in the English game at the moment. So that's going to be a really interesting one. But apparently we're also after one of Sheffield United's players. We might be after someone called Davis as well. So that's going to be really, really interesting to see what happens there. But we're being linked with so many forwards, it's really hard to cut through it. Why would we get Jebbison? Well, because he's big, he's strong, and he would sort of look like the type of player who played for David Moyes. Why wouldn't we sign him? Well, he's 18 years of age. But he's one of those guys, he's too good to play in the, for the youth team, if you know what I mean. He's too good to play for the under-23s. But he's certainly getting his education at Burton Albion at the moment. But when I say there are loads and loads of links, there honestly are tons of them. Let me throw another one at you, which has just come from today. Nathan Ake. Nathan Ake obviously was at Bournemouth, Man City, not getting into the team much. Obviously, as we know, Guardiola's favoured partnership is Diaz and Laporte this season. Last season it was Diaz, and of course John Stones don't leave a lot of room for Nathan Ake, does it? Very, very good player, Dutch international. Good player. And I'm sorry I keep talking about height and size, but it is a massive issue when you talk about West Ham. And look at the way we're playing. Look at the way we try and play. Look at the way we're perceived to play. Look at how we try. Look how we tried to win that game against Brighton. I like Nathan Ake. Nathan Ake is a really good player. That being said, my abiding memory of Nathan Ake is a away game I went to when we played Bournemouth, and I remember watching a game and noticing how much bigger and stronger Andy Carroll was than Nathan Ake. So I'm not sure. On loan, it might be a decent idea if we can get the guy on loan, quite possibly. Would we put in a big bid for Nathan Ake? I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. It doesn't seem to fit the criteria that David Moyes likes for his players. Massive links again with Adam Hložek, but nothing particularly new there. Just the same old links because of Kretinsky, because we've been interested for a little while. I'd be very interested to see if that were to happen. I know a couple of people have brought over some work permit issues that he wouldn't be able to bring his girlfriend over, as I understand it. As long as it's been, they've been together a little while, and as long as they're already living together and they're cohabiting, or they could be something close to a civil partnership, she would qualify for a tier 2 work visa, because obviously he'd get one. You just have to prove that you can support yourself. Clearly, clearly, if he comes and signs for a Premier League football team, he's going to be able to support himself and his girlfriend. Again, more Jesse Lingard stuff. We covered that yesterday or the day before yesterday, so we won't go too heavily into the Jesse Lingard stuff. We're being linked with Darwin Nunes. Darwin Nunes. This is an interesting one. I'm interested to watch the evolution of this particular story. Apologies, by the way. Darwin Nunes plays for Benfica. I believe he helped kick Barcelona out of the Champions League. Is that right? I don't know if that's entirely accurate. Are they mathematically out of the Champions League now? Going to be interesting last 16 if they are in the old Europos Cupos. That's to be sure. But there are loads. I'm going to take you through. There's loads and loads of links with these players. But they've gone really forward heavy because everybody, the world and his wife, know that West Ham needs a forward. Anyway, I'm getting all these stories from the OneFootball app. If you don't already know by now, the link is in the description below. It's a fantastic app. obviously what it's doing here is putting all the West Ham transfer news into one place for me. When you sign up, you have to say which team you support. Click on West Ham. I've got West Ham England, puts all the news, but it also categorises it. So what do you want? Team news, injury news, transfer rumours, or news? That's not a category. I just made that up. It's a very, very good app. Best of all, it's free. Use the link below. Nunes. Okay, so this one, we spoke about this person before. It was rumoured that this might be a load of hot air. I've done the same joke twice, but it's Jonas Wind. Playing really well. 22-year-old, playing really well for Copenhagen. Almost a goal a game for Copenhagen. But I just think these are easy links to make. They really, anybody that's remotely decent is going to be linked to West Ham. I'm going to talk. Any of these could happen. Honestly, Jebbison, Hložek, Jonas Wind, Nunes. I don't know. That's the truth. I'm not sure of our interest. It's really hard. Do I know we're interested in Lingard? Yes, that much is clear. I'll tell you somebody else who I'm absolutely sure we're interested in, though. Absolutely 100% sure. And that's old Johnston at West Brom. There's this whole thing, I don't know if you followed how much you follow the other teams or the other sort of sports news, as it were, or football news from other teams. But West Brom, they seem determined to get him to sign a new contract. He ain't going to sign a new contract. I don't know why. Well, I understand why they're trying to get him to sign a new contract. I don't know why these stories start circulating. I don't know why it's newsworthy. He is not. He's in the Championship. It's quite clear what he's doing. He's running his contract down. This is a guy with a real chance, and I mean a real chance of playing in the World Cup, right? Even after the World Cup, this is a guy that's going to want and feel he's got the ability to really challenge Jordan Pickford for that first spot in the England team. He really will. He's not staying with West Brom. Now, he's got an option to go somewhere on a free. And apparently his options are Tottenham, West Ham or Southampton. Well, clearly the best team out of all those three are West Ham. So I'm hoping he's going to choose us. I really do. I don't know what's going on. I think I think Hugo Lloris's contract's up at the end of the season. I seem to remember that being the case. As you all know, I'm far from convinced that we're keeping Areola. All right? And I'm not convinced because David Moyes doesn't seem to be convinced. If David Moyes thought Areola was the best goalkeeper since sliced bread, not a slice of bread has ever kept goal, wouldn't be very good, really, a slice of bread. You need a lot of loaves to keep the ball out of the net. But if David Moyes honestly thought and highly rated Areola, he'd be in the team. He really wouldn't. He really would. What he's not going to do is pay 100 grand a week and a big transfer fee, or say, 15, 20 million out of his budget, but someone he thinks isn't quite good as Fabianski. And clearly, there's not even an argument. Clearly, Moyes doesn't think that Areola is quite as good as Fabianski. Yes, at this time, will he overtake him? Yes, no, but my point is, if he really rated him, he'd be in. He would be in. You know Moyes does that. Look, Moyes rated Lingard, he was straight in the team. Moyes absolutely rated Souček, he was straight in the team. Zuma, straight in the team. I think we're going for Sam Johnston. I think that's one of the rumours that I can really see happening. The Aki one, I found it less believable, certainly. But the Tarkowski one is back again. That Tarkowski rumour is back and it won't go away. And a couple of the stories are saying that West Ham will make a final bid to try and sign James Tarkowski. Now, what that is, what's important about that final bid, it's a shot across the bows, it's a message. And it's the message is to Burnley, we'll make one final bid. Just the basic sense, Burnley, it's your last opportunity to get some cash for him. Otherwise, we're going to come and take him on a free. That I find believable. I would not be at all surprised, and I mean at all surprised, to see West Ham sign Sam Johnston and James Tarkowski on a free in the summer window. Wouldn't be surprised to see that at all. And for all these rumours flying about all these different players, that seems incredibly believable to me. I want to talk about another player, and it's Nat Phillips at Liverpool. He's 24 years of age now. I do actually... One of the reasons this becomes believable is, number one, he is massive, right? But number two, I think Nat Phillips' best 2 games he's ever had for Liverpool were against West Ham. When Van Dijk was out, after Jordan Pickford sort of hacked and sort of tried to kill Virgil van Dijk, I by the way, just so he didn't actually try and murder him. It's a turn of phrase. But when he sort of really injured him, they were without centre-backs for quite a while. And I think there was one point they were playing Jordan Henderson at centre-back as well. And a couple of games, Jordan Henderson and Nat Phillips. Firmino, is it Fabinho? Fabinho. I get me Firms and me Fabs very much mixed up. Not the forward, the other one. He was playing alongside Nat Phillips as well. But Nat Phillips played really well against West Ham. Looked really dominant in the air. Actually, handled our set plays really well. I find that believable. This is not someone that David Moyes has got to go and scout. All right, David Moyes has actually seen him in the flesh playing really well against West Ham. Totally and utterly believable, this particular one. That being said, I would still imagine Tarkowski would be one. It just depends. It just depends if David Moyes wants to sign a player now in January, or he wants to wait. Does he think he can muddle through? As I understand it, Burnley, and as the report in, Tribal Football says, Burnley are double down on plans as Newcastle and West Ham circle. Well, that is basically, they know, unlike West Brom, Burnley know Tarkowski won't sign a new contract, but they're saying, well, hold on, he's worth to us. He's keeping us for another season in the Premier League. He's worth more than that, particularly with this new overseas American TV deal, by the way, has put more or less another £2 billion over a 3-year period in the Premier League coffers. Even more reason to... It's just not worth it. It's probably the £7 million we're willing to offer is probably not worth it. Burnley is much more advantageous for them to stay in the Premier League. One final one. He's got pink hair. He's got pink hair and we don't care. Barbosa. Gabriel Barbosa. Gabigol is his moniker. Gabriel Gabigol, I don't know what it means. Barbosa plays for Flamengo, which I do think is, I think that's the best of all football team names, is Flamengo. Because it sounds a bit like Pink Flamingo. And he's got pink hair, this guy. He's got pink hair. He's scoring well. He's a top scorer in the Copa Libertadores. Did you see the referee? Did you see the referee touch the player and he fell over and he was rolling around and all the rest of it? Anyway, a top scorer in the Copa Libertadores, 25 years of age. Quite strong and fast, actually. I could believe it, but I don't believe it. In fact, I would nail my colours to the mast here. We are not going to sign the pink hairs. That'd be reason enough for Moyes not to sign him. The pink-haired, whatever his bloody name is, Gabriel Barbosa. Don't think that's going to happen. Tarkowski, Johnston, I can see it. This guy, not so much. Anyway, there's your transfer roundup. Lots and lots of names. There's probably other ones as well, but that'll do you. 13 minutes is it's good enough for all of us. We've all got things to do today, quite frankly. I'll catch up with you tomorrow. I'm at a game tomorrow, so it's going to be interesting, isn't it? Hopefully. Anyway, I'm sure I'll upload a drunken video at some point, either drowning me sorrows or with a song. You never know. Probably won't be a song, but you know what I mean. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy the build up to tomorrow's game.